Orpheum Theater, with its grandiose Spanish Baroque architecture, was a jewel in the heart of Phoenix. By day, the theater exuded charm with its ornate balconies and intricate carvings. By night, however, shadows crept into every corner, and the air seemed heavier, filled with whispers from the past. Lizzie Monroe was no stranger to haunted places. A freelance journalist specializing in paranormal phenomena, she had built a reputation for delving into the darkest corners of America's most infamous locations. When she received a tip about the Orpheum's ghostly tales, she couldn't resist. Armed with her recorder, notebook, and camera, Lizzie arrived at the theater just as the sun dipped below the horizon. The staff was eager to share their experiences. There was Maddie, the ghost of a playful young girl often seen in the balcony, the shadowy figure of Harry Nace, one of the theater's original owners, and the mysterious woman in a veil who appeared and disappeared without a trace. Lizzie, intrigued but skeptical, decided to stay after hours to investigate. As the last staff member locked up for the night, Lizzie stood alone in the grand lobby. The silence was deafening, broken only by the faint hum of the city outside. She set up her equipment in the main auditorium. The stories said Maddie liked to hum old tunes or tug on people's sleeves. Lizzie decided to test this by sitting in the front row and leaving a toy doll on one of the seats. "All right, Maddie," she said aloud. "If you're here, show me something." The air grew cold and the doll tipped over. Lizzie's heart raced. She grabbed her camera and snapped a photo, but the flash briefly illuminated something far more sinister. A figure in the balcony, watching her. It was not the playful Maddie, but a woman dressed in black with a veil obscuring her face. "Hello?" Lizzie called, her voice echoing. The figure vanished. Determined to uncover more, Lizzie climbed to the balcony. The seats creaked under her weight, and the shadows seemed to twist and stretch, playing tricks on her eyes. At the far end, she spotted something small, a pair of child's shoes, old and worn. She picked them up, feeling an icy chill run through her. Then she heard it, a child's laughter, soft but unmistakable. "Who's there?" Lizzie demanded, spinning around. The laughter grew louder, echoing from all directions, until it abruptly stopped. The silence that followed was suffocating. Before she could process what had happened, her recorder crackled to life in her bag. A faint voice whispered, "Leave, now." Lizzie retreated to the stage, her nerves frayed. As she reviewed the footage on her camera, she saw something chilling. The figure in the veil was clearer now, her face pale and gaunt, with hollow eyes that seemed to stare directly into the lens. Lizzie couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched. A sudden noise startled her, a faint rhythmic tapping from above. The catwalk. The legend of Clara Reed, an actress who allegedly fell to her death from the catwalk, flashed in her mind. With trembling hands, she climbed the ladder to the overhead platform. The air grew colder with every step. At the top, the tapping stopped. Lizzie shone her flashlight around, illuminating the narrow walkway. It was empty, at least that's what she thought. A sudden gust of wind blew out her flashlight. In the pitch-black darkness, she heard the unmistakable sound of high heels clicking on the metal floor, moving toward her. "Clara," she whispered. The footsteps stopped inches away, and a voice hissed, "You shouldn't have come." Lizzie bolted down the ladder, her flashlight flickering back to life. She sprinted to the exit, but the heavy doors refused to budge. She was trapped. Her phone buzzed in her pocket. It was a notification. Live stream started. Confused, Lizzie checked her phone and froze. The live stream was from her account, showing a view of the stage. In the dim light, the figure in the veil stood center stage, staring into the camera. "How?" Lizzie muttered, her hands shaking. The figure turned, as if aware of Lizzie watching, and pointed directly at her through the screen. Suddenly the phone went dead. Desperate for answers, Lizzie remembered the stories of a local medium Agnes, who had claimed to have communicated with the spirits of the Orpheum. She dialed Agnes, who agreed to come immediately. When Agnes arrived, she set up a small seance on the stage. Candles flickered as the older woman called out to the spirits. "We mean no harm," Agnes said. "Clara, Maddie, Harry, if you are here, speak to us." The candles dimmed, and the temperature plummeted. Agnes gasped, her face contorted in pain. "She's here," she said, clutching her chest. "But she's not alone." Before Lizzie could ask what she meant, the figure in the veil materialized behind Agnes. The woman's face was fully visible now, pale, angry, and twisted in rage. She raised her hand and Agnes screamed, collapsing to the floor. Through sobs, Agnes explained the truth. Clara Reed had indeed died on the catwalk, but it wasn't an accident. She had been pushed by a rival actress who envied her success. The rival, now long dead, had also become a restless spirit, trapped in the theater and tormenting Clara. "She won't let Clara go," Agnes whispered. "And now, she won't let you go either." The realization hit Lizzie like a freight train. She was caught in the crossfire of a century-old feud between two vengeful spirits. Determined to put an end to the nightmare, Lizzie devised a plan. She returned to the catwalk, holding a mirror, a tool often used to reflect and dispel negative energy. She placed it in the center of the platform and called out to Clara. The air grew heavy, and the rival spirit appeared, her face contorted with malice. Before she could strike, Clara's ghost emerged, her presence calmer but resolute. The two spirits faced off, their energies colliding in a storm of light and shadow. Lizzie held her ground, chanting a protective mantra she had learned from Agnes. The mirror vibrated, then shattered, releasing a blinding flash. When the light faded, the theater was silent. Both spirits were gone. The next morning, Lizzie emerged from the Orpheum, exhausted but alive. The staff noted that the theater felt different, lighter, as if a weight had been lifted. Lizzie wrote her article, detailing the haunting and the spirit's tragic tale. The Orpheum's ghost stories continued, but the darker presence seemed to have vanished. Still, Lizzie couldn't help but wonder. In the silence of the night, would Clara ever truly rest?